He's a soldier who never strikes first. He's a warrior who wasn't going to take on one more war.
What do you think this man is?
God!
Oh, God, would have mercy. He won't.
But they forced him to come back to save his only friend. When they dared to draw first blood.
Why must you do this?
Because he do it for me.
Rambo 3. Stallone. Memorial Day.
What the hell is going on? Who is this?
Your worst nightmare.
Rambo 3 is a badass action film from 1988 and at the time was one of the most expensive films ever made, with a budget of around $60 million, although Sylvester Stallone got a $12 million Gulfstream jet as part of his pay for the film, so this might contribute to that high budget. But as we'll see in this making of, all the budget was on screen.
Sylvester Stallone returns to the screen as John Rambo in Rambo 3. Shot across 3 continents with a crew of 300 and a cast of thousands, Rambo 3 stands as one of the largest scale productions of the year.
What will set Rambo 3 apart from the other 2 Rambos is it's much bigger, and we're trying to make this as realistic as possible, so to do this has been a difficult affair.
Now, in Rambo 3, John Rambo and Sam Troutman are faced with their greatest challenge, assisting Afghan freedom fighters in their conflict with Soviet forces.
Colonel Troutman is taken hostage in Afghanistan, and it's interesting because no other reason on earth could get Rambo to move, to go after the one person who listened to him more than anyone else.
To recreate the war-torn battlefields of Afghanistan, director Peter McDonald and his crew traveled to Israel for 3 months of intense location shooting at the Dead Sea.
We decided to shoot Rambo in the Mideast simply because it added a sense of realism, of weight to the film. I think shooting Rambo in Las Vegas would lack a certain weightiness. You go, oh yeah, it's shot live across the street from a casino. It doesn't quite ring true. But this is a story really about Afghanistan, so I wanted to get as close to the natural environment as I could.
The desire for realism led to an attention to detail in many areas. Technical advisors were consulted to ensure that the film's portrayal of Afghanistan was authentic.
My help has been in many different areas. In fact, technically, I advised them for different scene of the movie, making sure that it looked very real and the way it is in Afghanistan.
Production designers traveled to the Afghan border to purchase authentic costumes and props for the film.
For me, looking on these things and looking at the people, you feel like you're in one of the market in Afghanistan.
Okay, so we're going to start with them all up here then.
Careful preparation was also involved in the stunt sequences.
Just about to crush me, I roll out of the way.
With action in every scene, Peter McDonald brought in veteran stunt coordinator Vic Armstrong to oversee the detailed planning.
And on this particular film, you've got the whole variation of stunts that you normally do on 5 different pictures. You do them all on one picture. We have horse work, we have aerial work with helicopters, we have a lot of explosions, which is all very dangerous.
As much action as we've had in the other films, this film has even more action. It's broader in scope, and now it becomes a much broader canvas. This is almost Rambo of Arabia. You know, it's a very big film.
The crew planned for many weeks for the complex stunts involved in the film's climactic battle. Thousands of stuntmen, horses, tanks, and helicopters played a part in bringing the final conflict to life.
Let's go this way. Let's have a few tanks going over and horses coming out.
Horses and tanks standing by. Helicopter standing by. Picture set. We're ready to go. Go, camera! Action!
I'd like the people to walk out of this film being entertained, and if it can make a statement and also entertain, that's the most important thing for me.
Right, stand by to shoot.
Now, in Rambo 3, the two men take on a new assignment.
And here we go now. Right.
While in Afghanistan delivering supplies, Troutman is captured.
Roll the camera! Mark!
Rambo must rescue his comrade, and the two face a test of their ultimate strength, their friendship.
Action! Action! Action!
Colonel Troutman is taken hostage in Afghanistan, and it's interesting because no other reason on earth could get Rambo to move, to go after the one person who listened to him more than anyone else.
For David Morrell, author of First Blood, Troutman represents the family that Rambo never had.
The key to their relationship, I think, is that Colonel Troutman is, in a sense, a kind of surrogate father figure for Rambo. If Troutman were out of these pictures, that there would be something so critically missing that Rambo by himself is somehow incomplete. I think it's Troutman who represents the humanity that Rambo is looking for.
They're also comrades. They're soldiers together, and they've lived and fought and seen death together, and I think there's a very strong bond between the two of them.
The bond of friendship between Rambo and Troutman gives each of them a unique strength. It is this friendship that is tested and survives in Rambo 3.
Despite being unsuccessful in the North American domestic market, making only $55 million, it made double overseas, making $102 million. Following the Hungerford Massacre in 1987, the BBFC was very harsh with their treatment of violent action films from the 80s and 90s. So much so that the UK poster for Rambo 3 was edited of his bow and arrows.
This mission's important, John. I want you to come with me to help me lead the team. What do you say, John?
I put in my time.
What's that mean?
It means my war's over.
He never draws first blood. He only fights back. The first time was for himself. The second time was for his country. This time,
Rambo, something went wrong.
it's for his friend.
Troutman was a good man, and I'm really very sorry.
You're just leaving him?
What do you expect us to do? Send in a Delta team? Create an international incident?
What about me?
By the way you look, I can see you have no experience in war, do you?
Fired a few shots.
That if you're captured, we'll deny any participation or even knowledge of your existence.
Sounds familiar.
Who is this John Rambo?
You'll find out.
I know he's your friend. But you cannot do this. You both will die. For what?
Because you do it for me.
What do you think this man is?
God!
Oh, God, will have mercy. He won't.
Who are you?
Your worst nightmare.
Stallone. Rambo 3.
I'm sorry I got you into this, John.
No, you're not.
The trailer to the film had a negative response, with reports of US audience booing it. The film was heavily cut by the BBFC by 1 minute 25 seconds for the theatrical release and 3 minutes 3 seconds for home video. Among the cuts made to the film were heavily edits to the opening stick fight, butts and kicks during the fight scenes, electrical torture scenes, and heavy reductions to close-ups of knives and bullet wounds, and cruelty to animals. but never banned. The DVD release has all the cuts reinstated, apart from a 2-second shot of animal cruelty, in this case of a horse fall. So let's have a look at a film that's had more cuts than Rambo's knife. So the UK VHS is on the top, and the US Blu-ray is underneath. So that was the first cut to the stick fight, and there's many more, so I'll see you after the lot of them. I put some gaps in just to stop some copyright issues. So a lot of pointless cuts there, especially the crowd scenes and facial reactions from the fighters. So the VHS version has a lot of the scripts cut out, as we'll see from this. So in cinemas and VHS, this was an 18 certificate, which means only 18s could go and see it legally. Yet they still justify cutting out this next scene.
In your ass.
You've tried my patience long enough.
Plenty more ridiculous cuts like that one coming up, like a kid playing with a knife. Apart from the bloodletting, that knife might be the most thing cut from the film. I'm so glad the BBFC protected me from that man falling over. So there's the famous horse scene that's still not available on a UK release. Here's a few more scenes with squibs going off. Avert your eyes, gentlemen, a knife is about to be unsheathed. Whoa. I'm just going to let these scenes play out and you can judge them for yourselves.
Спускайся вниз, наконец! Около пещер.
That cut does make me laugh. When this came out, it had a body count of 162, which was quite high, but now some girls do that in a week. So there we go, the last cut. Sorry I wasn't here for all of them, but there's a lot of them. Luckily, since 1999 we can watch all these films uncut. Well, mostly, apart from that horsefall. Thanks for watching. Here endeth the lesson.
Take me back to the 80s. Back then, summers they were lazy. Stepped up, knock on your door to see if you were coming out tonight. No FaceTiming people that I wanna see. I had them there standing